For the better part of a century, Elkhart County was the center of the manufacturing universe for pharmaceuticals, musical instruments, modular housing, and more. Our long-running entrepreneurial product line has taken many forms, morphing over the decades, but employing much of the same techniques. After all, making things is what we do, and making lots of different things is one way to keep the local economy stable. The other way is to make things in better ways, better than anyone else in this global marketplace. Because if we can't continue to make what we make in ever more innovative ways, you must know that someone else right now is getting ready to do just that with our industries. Our Elkhart County companies must advance their manufacturing processes today with a new mind and a community-wide resolve. Lean manufacturing techniques must take over our shop floors, our front offices, and most of all, our boardrooms. It will cost any one of our companies much more not to change. Unless we do something now to launch a new industrial revolution in Elkhart County, we'll lose 100 years worth of momentum. Our industrial muscle will lose our workforce, our livelihood, and one of the best hopes for prosperity. Other countries, other communities would love to have what we have, and unless we race to make things in new ways, they soon will overtake us.
A gazelle wakes up and looks around the rest of the herd and looks out on the prairies and sees lions and knows that it needs to run faster than the fastest lion that day or it's not going to make it through the day. You're all in manufacturing. It really doesn't make any difference whether you make widgets or RVs. When the sun comes up, when you go to work, you better be running. I have never seen a manufacturer that can be content with his product because somebody else can't do it, better or cheaper. I worked with a foundry in the southern part of this county. The plant manager told me 6 weeks ago that China can land a finished forging in that town cheaper than he can buy the powder to cast it. I don't care whether you're making RVs, whether you're making bolts and fasteners, it can be made cheaper elsewhere. What is your advantage? Why would anybody buy from you? What can you do to ensure that we can retain manufacturing in north central Indiana? What we need to do is all of us need to work together. It's not a hopeless cause. We need to do what we do as good as we can do it. We need to reduce our lead time. We need to reduce our costs. We need to improve our quality. We need to understand what our customers need and want and to supply it to them in the best way, shape, and form that we can. And we need to make money doing it. Can we do it? Yes, we can. But we've got to do it intelligently. We can't do it the way we've been doing it for 50 years. We have to find better ways of doing it. That means everybody needs to be on board with change to improve. If you're not on board, the boat's going without you. I think that if you understand how we got to where we are today, it'll make it much more apparent what you have to do to get where you want to be. If you were building automobiles in Elkhart, Indiana in 1900, it's a couple of blocks away from here, they were building elk cars in a warehouse with skilled mechanics, craftsmen. And they did everything there was as a group of mechanics. When they finished building one automobile, they pushed it out in the lot for someone to sell, and they started making another one. That's the way Ford was making Fords in Dearborn, Michigan in 1900. And one day Henry is looking down on his shop floor and he sees all these groups of mechanics building automobiles. And he said, I can't find anybody else that knows how to make everything, that knows how to do everything. What if I took people that didn't know how to do anything and lined them up and taught each one of them to do one skill and ran my automobile down that line and each person did their thing? And that's exactly what he proceeded to do. He used to tell everybody, you can have any color Ford you want in 1920 as long as they're black. Wouldn't that be a great way to run production? Everything going down your line looking just like everything else. And this became the point where we started to have some real problems in mass production. Long, stretched out production lines are not value added. There should only be enough length in the production line to do what you need to do, especially if you've got equipment that has changeover times that's driving the batch size. How in the world do you do this? And so this became our manufacturing system. It's batch production. How do we manage it? How do we make money even though our customers want a lot of different colors, a lot of different styles? There was always a tension between manufacturing and sales. Sales wants every style, every size, every color. And manufacturing is saying, oh my God, all we have to do is have one color, one style, convince the customer that's what they need. Lean is a systematic approach to identifying and eliminating waste. That's what Lean is. If you've got waste, if you've got non-value added stuff going on, then Lean's the way you find it or how you get rid of it. We do it through continuous improvement by flowing the product at the full of the customer. That says, essentially, that you never get there. You need to keep working at approaching the perfection of a waste-free environment. You empower people that work in production, that they are the team and they are the ones that come up with the changes and they are the ones that are going to make the changes and they're responsible for changes and continuous improvement. And they do that for a while. You can't take that power away from them.
And I would just lay that challenge down to each of you. You need to make a long-term commitment to taking the waste out of your operation whenever and wherever you can find it.